survive and prosper in a land far from the royal capital, Paquito had to be strong. So he had one dream since he was a little boy: to become the world's strongest fighter. Paquito tempered his mind, his body and spirit through any and every means possible in his quest for the power. One day, a reticent man passed through his village, witnessing the incredible effort Paquito was dedicating to his training. Hence he decided to stay and train Paquito, taking him as a student. In the months that followed, Paquito's abilities improved at an exponential rate as he trained under his master. Yet his departure drew near. Before he left, he told Paquito this: "The peak, the true essence of fighting lies not in destruction. It's not about attacking." Paquito continued to perfect his technique relentlessly in the years following his master's departure. Yet he still struggled to embody this essence his master spoke of. This left him with an uncertainty deep in his heart, so he too departed his village, still determined to become the world's strongest. And so he sought out strong opponents as he traveled the lands. As he navigated the Lantis Mountains, he found the land plagued by injustice and evil. Hence he would enter the fray, fighting for justice and wiping out evil, becoming renowned as the Heavenly Fist. As Paquito forged on tirelessly, a mysterious figure known as the Domineer gained great power in the Monian Empire. He commanded his subordinates and launched a grand plan to claw control over the land. To fuel his schemes, the Domineer plundered these lands already on the brink of collapse, leaving cruelty and massacre in his wake. Paquito caught wind of this series of tragedies, and it made his blood boil. He swore to stop this Domineer and eradicate every last trace of his control. In his mission to unmask this dark figure and his true identity, Paquito discovered that he was none other than his master from long ago. He had sought the true essence of what it means to fight, yet instead, he'd been eaten up and spat back out by the harsh realities of this world. He'd lost all that he once stood for, becoming cruel and ruthless. Paquito's loyalty and friendship for his old master clashed with the justice and morality he had always held so dear. He made his decision. The student and the master began a battle of the ages. Paquito stood firm and took the first of his master's crushing strikes repayment for the teaching he'd received. Then, they began trading blows, a collision of two colossal forces. The master's technique had only grown stronger in the years that had passed, with dominating advances battering Paquito until he was on the very brink of death. Strength began to leave his body, and Paquito thought back to those he'd strived to save from oppression, their baleful gazes, how they wished for nothing more than peace. It was then that he had his epiphany: the true essence of fighting was not about attacking nor destroying, but instead, defending hope wherever it may be. Paquito forced the Domineer into defeat, and the master stared up at his former student, filled with regret. His forces of evil were subdued, and peace flourished in the land. It was then that Paquito shouldered his pack and prepared to hit the road once more, telling his master, "This world of ours is bigger than we know, with mighty opponents that await our arrival, not to mention the powers of evil." Paquito relied on his two fists. With them, he'd fight for the hopes and dreams of all who needed him.